Hi everyone, this is Arat from English for Everyone, and today in this video I'm going to talk about simple present tense. Well, actually the previous lesson, if you have watched the videos on Alta, you should have watched videos about simple present tense. This is also about simple present tense, but this time about negative sentences and questions. Okay, so how do we change a simple present tense sentence into a negative or into a question? Alright, if you haven't watched those videos, just click on this eye over here on this corner and it will take you to those lessons. But if you've watched them, let's move on. Alright, in the lesson that was about am, is, are, and also the lesson that was about was and were, we talked about making sentences, changing sentences to negative forms, and that was as easy as just adding not to the verb. So when I have a sentence that has am, is, are, was, were somewhere in the sentence, I just need to add not to that sentence. I am 12, I'm not 12. Just adding not to am, you have changed the sentence into a negative one. That is for am, is, are, was and were. But when we have simple present tense, we do not have am, is, are, or was, or were. Okay, we have the main verb, and we cannot just add not to the main verb. Let's go back to the previous lesson and just check one of the examples. One of the examples was this: I like cats. Here it is, I like cats. I can't say I like not cats, I not like cats or something like that. No, I can't do this. I just can't change it to negative by putting not in the sentence. Not doesn't matter where I put it, I just can't do this. What I need to do is that I need to add not to a helping verb or a auxiliary or a modal verb, okay, but not the main verb. And here in this sentence I do not have any. I like cats. I and cats, these are names, these are subject and object, these are not verbs. I can't add not to these. And like also is a verb, but can't take it. Neither like can take it, because this is not a helping verb. So what I need to do is to borrow do. So what I do, I take do, put it in between subject and the verb, and then not can come and gets attached. And then I have I don't or I do not like cats. This is it. So I change the verb, I change the sentence into a negative one. So this is how we change a simple present sentence to negative. So we bring do to the sentence, we add not to do, and then everything on the same order, okay, everything goes on the right or exactly the same way, everything gets repeated. Alright, so I like cats, I don't like cats, that's it. They speak Chinese, they don't speak Chinese. What is don't? Do not. And how do we make it? Once again, we bring do to the sentence, not comes, gets added, do not, and then everything goes on in the same order. They do not speak Chinese. I live in England. I do not live in England. You go to school. You do not go to school. Okay, that is how we change sentences, positive ones, or let's say statements, into negative forms. Okay, so, and also as I just mentioned, we have short forms. So we can add, instead of saying do not, we can say don't. Okay, and now if I want to change these sentences to questions, I just need to do the same thing. I do not need not. I do not need not, because not is for negative ones. So we have nothing to do with not. Alright, what we need to do is to take the auxiliary helping verb or modal verb to the beginning of the sentence. But as we do not have any modal, auxiliary or helping verb in the sentence, we need to do the same thing. we need to borrow do and put it in the beginning of the sentence and change the full stop or period to question mark. That's it. So instead of saying I like cats, I would ask, instead of giving that information, I would ask, and the question is, do you like cats? Do you like cats? Do goes to the beginning of the sentence, and then we have question mark at the end. That's it. They speak Chinese. Say, do they speak Chinese? I live in England. Do you live in England? And you go to school. Do you go to school? Okay, so we just add do to the beginning of the sentence and change the full stop to a question mark. That's it. This is the way we do. This is the way we change the statements into questions. Well, there is another part to this lesson, and that is when we are talking about he, she or it. If you watched the previous video, you know that when we have he, she or it as the subject of the sentence, then s gets added to the verb. I like, you like, she likes. I love, you love, she loves. Okay, we have to add s to the verb. Now when we want to change the sentence into a negative one or a question, we have to be careful about this one. So let's look at the example and let me explain on the example. I say she likes cats. Okay, some teachers prefer to teach it this way. That is not my approach. They say we bring does to the sentence. Well, I don't believe that we bring does to the sentence. Actually, what we do, we bring do to the sentence, and as or es or that s and s ending is actually it is in the sentence. Okay, so we just replace s. So we have s on like, and like has changed to likes. We bring do to the sentence and it grabs s. Okay, or let's say it steals s from likes. Like changes to like, likes changes to like, and s goes on do changes to does. Alright, so I bring do changes to does, because it takes s from like, and then we add not. So that is the result. She doesn't like cats. Doesn't like. Most of students in this stage, they make this mistake and say she doesn't like cats. They have two s's because they bring does to the sentence and then they end up having two s's. Well, actually what is happening is that we bring do to the sentence and s gets moved, goes to do, and do changes to does because it ends in o. Like go, when we add s changes to goes, es. Do gets takes the s and changes to does. That's it. It's not an exception or something. It follows the rule that we mentioned in the previous lesson. Okay, let's move on and have some more examples. She speaks Chinese. Let me say she doesn't speak Chinese. Does not. And then the same thing with she lives in England. Say she doesn't live in England, or does not. The short form is doesn't. She goes to school. She doesn't go to school. This is the negative form. So you can see it is the same rule. Just we have to be careful about that s, and we know why we have does because of that s. Alright, now it's time to turn a statement with he or she or it as the subject into a question. So what we do is exactly the same thing that we did to the sentences that didn't have he, she, it. But the only thing is that when we bring do to the beginning of the sentence, do steals that s from the verb and changes to does. Okay, she likes cats. I do put do in the beginning of the sentence. Do takes s from likes and then says does she, and then like without that, likes without that s is like. Does she like cats? Does she speak Chinese? Does she live in England? And does she go to school? Okay, this was my homework. Now it's your turn. Just make some simple sentences. Try to change them to third person. If the subject is I, change I to she or he or my friend, my niece or my nephew. And then see if you can change the verb as well. Then change the statements to negative sentences, both of them, and then to questions. Do some practices, and if you come across any questions, don't hesitate to comment it under this video and I'll check them and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a good time with your practices and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.